Yesterday was a rough show, but I mean, it is what it is. It's you come off a bad performance, bad loss. Maybe an eye opener a little bit, maybe not. Maybe it's just a bump in the road. I thought Dan Campbell had some really interesting responses today to some questions, and I look forward to hearing what Jared has to say. Jared Goff, as a team leader, this feels a bit of a crisis. They probably don't look at it that way. I mean, coaches and players typically say the same things, but that doesn't mean we aren't going to ask about it. But those things they say are along the lines of, well, it's never as bad as you thought it was, and it's never as good as you thought it was when you look back. But that felt authentically disturbing, and yet it is one football game, and there's lots of football to be played. But what's happened here through 10 games isn't instilling confidence that this is a strong Super Bowl contender. They're still in the mix. I haven't given up. But we'll talk with Jared Goff today at 10:30. How was your Monday night?
It was fine. I settled down and just started to watch Monday Night Football. I actually kind of forgot about the Pistons until towards the end, and then we'll flip over there. But I was watching the Manning cast and seeing Dallas. Trying to scout Dallas, Doug. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to scout the Cowboys. See the Lions will play in a couple weeks. So, and I came away thinking, like I said to the guys in the morning show, that defensive line is tough. Yep. They've got a couple of really good players. When you add Quinnen Williams to the mix, you've added a lot, and he adds so much to that team. He is a massive disruption up the middle. They can line him all over the place. He is a pass rushing defensive tackle, and he's a large individual, and he can be a problem. And he was a big problem for the Raiders last night, and a solution for the Cowboys. Now, have the Cowboys done enough to can they get on a roll and make the playoffs? They're going to have to beat the Lions to do so. And so that's a little bit down the road here, but I was watching that to kind of see where they're at, and that's where I came up with this idea that, obviously Philadelphia's got a great defensive line. The Giants, I think, have a pretty impressive defensive line they have up there. The Packers have a pretty impressive defensive line, which we've seen, and then they're going to play the Cowboys, which is, again, an impressive defensive line. It doesn't let up, and I think this is one of those reasons why people so desperately wanted to have another edge rusher to vault your defensive line into that stratosphere. And I think the Lions' defensive line is good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good. When it's healthy, it probably is one of the better defensive lines in football. But it feels like they're all of the same ilk coming up here. And that's a good way to play football and get back to the era of defense wins championships. It starts up front.
So we'll get more into the Lions as the day goes on, obviously, and looking ahead to Sunday and beyond. But Pistons, how about this team, man? I mean, you know what's crazy about it is, first of all, obviously Duren has really, really gone next level here. But what's wild is the people that are making up for the loss of Cade Cunningham and Asar Thompson and Tobias Harris and Jaden Ivey and Marcus Sasser and on and on and on and on and on are mostly the fringe roster guys. Like, it's Dennis Jenkins coming out of nowhere and lighting teams up, bouncing around the floor like he's quicker than everybody. Paul Reed, right? It's these guys that are going with massive overachievement. Like, Ron Holland hasn't been in double figures in 7 games. Duncan Robinson averages 11 and change a game in his career. He's averaging he's in this stretch, he's averaging 14 points a game. It's not like he is taking, I'm not mad at those guys. I'm not mad at Karis LeVert. I'm just saying what's incredible is that it's guys like Paul Reed and Dennis Jenkins who are leading this surge. And Javonte Green, who I got off to a bad start with Javonte Green, I'll just say.
Oh.
Well, games I watch and I just found that like this guy doesn't make a lot of shots, but
no one's been more critical of Javonte Green than Doug.
We got off to a bad start, all right? I'm willing to reconsider.
Bad relationship.
Hard with first impressions. But this team, These guys.
I'm stunned with what we're seeing. Dennis Jenkins averaging 22 points a game over the last 4 since he's been given all these minutes because of all the injuries to this team. I mean, this is a team that's winning without Cade Cunningham. They got Jalen Duren back last night, but they'd won 3 without Duren, and they've won 4 without Cade. They've won 4 without Asar Thompson, without Tobias Harris. Again, starting the season without Jaden Ivey, and they just keep battling and keep digging deep and finding ways to win. And that's what happens when you got guys that are on your bench that are good players, just want the opportunity, and you got to seize that opportunity. That's what Dennis Jenkins has done. That's what Paul Reed had done. And now that's what your guy Javonte Green has done as well. Everybody's, grabbing a brass ring when they can because they know what's going to happen. The team's going to get healthy and they're going to be relegated to coming off the bench or maybe, being healthy scratches or whatever the case is. But this is a really good basketball team.
Gator, I don't even know if they're good players. I'm going to be honest. I think that somehow they've turned into Stephon Marbury and Kevin Garnett, Jenkins and Paul Reed. I honestly don't know. This is clearly not sustainable, you don't think, but that's why it's so shocking to me. It's the culture that JB Bickerstaff has built. I think the jerseys are winning games for this team at this point. They put on the Pistons jersey and they get to work and they fight and they scratch and all of a sudden they're hitting shots and they're playing for each other, play defense. It's pretty remarkable what they're doing.
And you had the added incentive of the NBA Cup.
Well, I didn't even have to say that.
I mean, I thought we all understood.
So the basketball stuff, this team is a very good defensive team. If you look at important defensive metrics, they're near the top of the NBA in just about all of them. JB Bickerstaff said last night, this whole thing starts with our defense. It's led to these 10 in a row. They are the top scoring team in the paint in the NBA. They are taking high percentage shots. And that's all the basketball measurables. There's an immeasurable right now that's going on that they are playing with a swagger and a confidence. The Pistons look like they are running around the floor and almost clowning on people. They are getting that confidence that really good teams have, and you can see it in the way that they play, the way that they move, the way that they respond to one another. And it's really been a fun watch.
And they're starting to start games well and not give up the 30 points in the first quarter. They're starting to actually win the first quarter. The other thing, it's not that long ago, Kang, that Doug paid off on a lunch bet because the Pistons couldn't win 3 games in a row. 3 was all we were asking for a couple years ago. 3.
Okay, Gator, that year, I believe they won 14 total games.
Yeah.
They have 12 wins already in 14 games this year.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
12-2 to start the season, a 10-game win streak.
So,
and I recognize it. I think they said in the morning show it's the first time since 2007, 2008. I'm surprised it's not longer. 10 games is a lot of games to win in a row in any sport.
And am I interpreting what you just said correctly, that you want to remake that bet to allow me to make good on that? That I will bet they will win 3 games in a row at some point the rest of the way?
No, that's not how you're interpreting that at all.
No, that's how I'm interpreting.
That's how you want to, maybe, but that's not.
That wasn't your intent?
That was not the intent.
I thought it was obvious to everybody.
Your inference was incorrect.
All right. We'll get phone calls and feedback coming up. And Jared Goff, Lions quarterback, at 10:30. It's Karsch and Anderson on 97.1.